Bricks and Minifigs is your one-stop shop for all things LEGO. Hit the link below to find a store near you.
Hi, I'm Steve Jensen. I'm the mad creator of this amazing Stardew Valley, based on a video game, a farming sim video game. This is 2 years of my life. I've been working on this, and it's got every part of the game, all the different buildings. I'm on this side, I'll talk about, it's got the Jojo Mart, which is kind of the evil corporation. Got Clint's workshop, the library and museum. In the summer, you get a little ice cream shop. Moving over, well, I'm going to skip the beach. I want to skip the beach. That little dark brown house, and I'm going to forget people's names. Elliot, that's Elliot's house. So behind that up here is the mayor's house. If we go directly behind it, we're going to see another blue house. That is Evelyn's and George's house. Next to it is a little trailer where Pam lives. And then on the other side, there's a saloon. And behind that is kind of a dual building. It's got Pierre's shop and Harvey's clinic. Behind that, you'll see a big kind of broken down building. That's the community center. That's the main objective of the game, is to fix that up. So it's still in disrepair. Next to that is Robin's workshop. You see a little yellow tent. That's where Linus lives. And then farthest in this corner is the Adventurers Guild. You gain access in the game for that. Now let's kind of jump back to the middle of town square. We got our cobblestone square there. And then to the front of that, to the side, we've got, let's see, let me think of the houses again. I've already losing names. It's got Emily's house and Haley. Emily and Haley live in that house. Then next to that is where Jody and Kent live. And I'm skipping all the kids' names, sorry.
It's a lot to keep track of.
Oh, yeah. And then we keep going west from there. And the greenhouse, the green roof house is Leah's house. I almost said Leah, but now I think it's Leah. Behind that is Marnie's ranch barn. And then keep going west. You'll see kind of a cart that's a traveling merchant. And then to that, next to that is on the hillside is the Wizard's Tower. And then in the very front is this little shack. It's a rundown building. A little mouse comes in mid-game and takes over and makes it a hat shop. And then, oh, I'm missing the hats. Yes, okay. And then all behind that is your farm. And the farmhouse is kind of the tan building. And then there's a greenhouse. That's one of the game objectives. Then I've got a barn, which has the large animals, and the chicken coop in green. There's a little mushroom field because that's something that grows on the farm if you let them grow. Fun little mystery things going on about. There's a bus back there that you unlock that gets you to the desert, which is not included. I think I've covered all the buildings. Oh no, I missed Willie's house because it's blocked by the other build that I can't move. Willie's house on the beach there. That's a fishing supply where you get the fishing supplies. I think that's it.
Yeah, I mean, this is so much detail in this layout. So what inspired you to want to kind of build this particular game in this size and detail?
It started with the bus. And I even go back, because this is 2 years ago, even before the bus, had just completed a trip to Legoland. And I saw their vehicles moving on their roads without wires. And it's because they use magnets. A week later, I encountered some magnets of Lego and thought, maybe I can do this. And I built something, thought, let's build a bus. And I built the bus, and it's like, hey, why don't I build the whole valley? And that's where this madness started. In my mind, I thought, well, the bus would be a motorized thing. I'm going to do other motorized things about. That didn't happen. And true to form, to anybody that does anything with motors and electrics and motion with Lego, especially the poor people that build great ball contraptions, I turned the bus on last night. It went back and forth in and out of the tunnel for about a minute, and something jammed in the works and it shut down. And it's now shut down for the weekend.
That happens with the movement stuff very frequently.
Yeah, so I'm glad that at least the bus is not critical. I can just set the bus there and people can see it.
So you've also got kind of a tiered effect going on with the different layers of this build. So take us through kind of your overall approach with the landscape and how that came together for you.
Okay. Well, everything is built on a base plate. People familiar with the term will know mills plates, and you may see some things on the edges here, kind of a various of my own cobbled mills plates. So it's all on that. There's a total volume here, or area, of 68 plates, base plates. Underneath that is a lot of Duplo. There's Duplo base plates, there's Duplo columns, so that my mills plates can all be level. I don't have to build up a lot of stuff on top. A little tricky on the hills. Sometimes a lot of built behind there, and then the whole plate will structure up higher, and the columns of Duplo are even taller to get up into the mountains in the back. So a lot of that underlying structure. The sign is a special thing too. It almost didn't happen in a weird way. This is 2 years. So last year, as a time for BrickCon approached, I only had about a fourth of this done. I had the farm and the bus area and a little bit of town. And I thought, I can't take that. I can't take an incomplete build. But what can I take? I decided to build the title card of the game. So I built that just standalone and brought it to BrickCon last year. And now that I had it, I decided to incorporate it into this valley, partly because there's a space in the game that you don't actually walk through. So the sign hides that. And so I've got on that Duplo a whole bunch of Technic to make some columns that are rigid, you know, girders kind of thing out of Technic. And then the sign just clips to that and is hung there to show it off. Yeah.
Yeah. No, it really adds to the overall look of the layout here. One unique thing is I like the kind of like brown, almost like log pieces looking on the edges here. So how did you kind of do that to cover up kind of the different height differences?
That's probably the trickiest, when I say trickiest, in the game, it's a wall or a cliff. It looks like dirt because it's brown, it's not gray. Otherwise I would have used grays and it would have been clear that this is dirt and rocks. But 75% of people that see that think it's logs. It's not. It's dirt and rocks of the cliffside. And so I just decided, it was one of those things like, well, you know, they look kind of roundish in the game, so I decided to take the brown plate, turn on its side like that, and stick all these pieces on that are round, or mostly round, and then just click them with some snot bricks on the sides to hold that up, to cover up that transition and the support underneath. And then figure out how to get the greens to kind of overlap onto it so that it hides it all.
Yeah. No, I think the effect works very nicely. So you took us through all those buildings earlier. Do you have one or two favorites or particular pieces or techniques that you use for any of them that you really wanted to make sure we pointed out?
Yes, there's one of my favorite builds. I'm going to probably list 3.5. I'm going to list 3.5 for you, so I'll be ready. And over there, the Wizard's Tower. I had built the grain silos. If you want to catch the grain silos in the farm, I was thinking of using a similar technique, but by doing a little double stacking of the pieces, they looked more blocky than the silos. So that gave me the base. You catch the door, take a good look at that door because you have a peak. It's a wooden door with a peak. LEGO doesn't make those, and I pulled it off, or at least pretty much pulled it off. It looks that way. It's all about the looks. Roof was fun. So I just loved how that building, and I got the vines to plant in the ground and then curl around the side like they're stuck to the building. It's just a beautiful building. In front of that is the hat shop. It's meant to be a broken down shack, like this mouse comes along and says, hey, I'm going to set up shop here and sell hats. It's hollow for the most part. You can look through many spots and see through to the holes on the other side. So I loved how that turned out. The half I'm going to mention is Leah's house, the roof. It's kind of got a slightly curvature, organic-y feel to that roof, and I loved how that green roof got the curve that I wanted to do that. Then the last one that I liked, and I'm going to have him come over here, is the Joja Mart. Yes, it's the evil corporation. I wanted it to look like a warehouse. So don't just look at the front, swing around and look at the back, because it looks like it's, not cobblestone, I forgot the word now. Let me pause here. Bricks.
Like concrete cinder blocks?
Cinder blocks, yeah, it looks like cinder blocks, because I want it to look like just a big warehouse that they've made a shop out of. And while you're looking at the back, let's point that out. Take a glance at some of the back sides. The game only shows you the front. I put work into the backsides to look right. At the Pierre's shop in the middle, there's this little thing sticking out with the red roof. That's Carolyn's tea room. It's kind of a glass atrium that's there. You're never going to see it, but it's there. And all of these buildings, they're not just facades.
Right.
They're complete. You see the back of Willie's, which you can see really well down on the beach. Since this was an upgrade in the game release sequence, 1.5 released this update with a boat back there. So I made it look like his shack, which by the way was made out of Technic lift arms, which I also like. That's another favorite building of mine. It looked like that was an add-on to it, even though you never see it in the game. You see it in the inside, but you never see the outside. So that was a lot of fun and creativity to figure out what am I going to do on the sides and the backs of these buildings that you can't see in the game.
Yeah. Do you know how many pieces are in the whole layout?
I have tried to do some estimating. I know that I felt like I was probably averaging close to 1,000 pieces per panel. So, and some more, some less. My estimate is I'm probably approaching somewhere near 75,000 pieces.
Yeah. No, it's very, very detailed, very well done. What is the public reaction like when they come and kind of start to recognize that this is from the game and they realize what you've done?
It's huge, especially the ones that it is a big favorite of theirs, the game. And you know, some said, you just made my day and kind of thing. And they love standing there because I have all the characters represented in minifig form. And I think we figured 30 characters. And I put the farmer, yourself, your player, is on here about 4 times doing different things. In particular, I think you just passed it, he's doing the fishing. A lot of people complain fishing is hard, so I represented that. The poor farmer can't do nothing, and Willie, the great fisherman's got a bucket full of fish. So, yeah, and so people, they love looking at that, and then they look at, oh, he's got this, oh, there's that, oh, there's that. And because there's so much to see, you can't take it all in right away. It takes time to really find all of those different things.
Yeah. And for people who have seen our Bricks and Minifigs videos, you run the Bricks and Minifigs store in Monroe, Washington, which we had a chance to visit last year. So will you display any part of this or the whole thing there at the store? Is there any future at the Bricks and Minifigs store for this layout?
We're considering the possibility. Obviously, as you see, it takes a lot of space. Yeah. It's 8 feet wide, 8.5 feet wide, 6 feet deep. We do have a party room. We're thinking about possibly blocking the party room for a couple of weeks, perhaps close to our anniversary, which is in November. But I don't want to commit 100% yet. But it's a possibility that could happen.
Nice.
Yes.
Yeah, well, keep up the great work. Thank you so much for taking us through the whole layout here. I appreciate it.
You're welcome. Thanks for being here and help show this off.